Good morning, guys. We are out here this morning on this Friday, wrapping the week up. Going to learn a little bit about some boater safety. Good morning, Kat.
Good morning, Kenny.
And our guest of honor today, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Pete Koltun. I'm a captain. I'm retired from the U.S. Coast Guard. I work here at Carteret Community College, and I own a company called Maritime Training Professionals.
So, Pete, what brought you to start your new business?
So I was the general manager at CETO here for a few years, and we got dozens of phone calls from people asking if there was someone available to teach them how to drive their boat. And not just new boaters, but people that have been on the water their whole lives just want to either learn how to use their chart plotter, or they wanted me to take their kids out and teach them. So I decided to leave CETO and start this last year, and I do personal training on the water. Like I said, I do it with beginners, and I do some advanced stuff. And then also we have classes here at Carteret Community College. I'm an adjunct professor here, and we do a Women on the Water class, a local waters class, and we teach all of the U.S. Coast Guard captain's licensing classes.
So, Pete, I think it's important because a lot of our clientele moved down here. They've never lived on the water before. They know nothing about safety on a boat. And this is a great service to be able to offer our local residents when they relocate.
Yeah, absolutely. And your clients are just like the clients that who I partner with from Starling Marine, from Radio Island Marina. And they buy a boat, they have my information, and I take out new boat owners. And then I wind up working with husbands and wives, sometimes separately, sometimes together, with families, with children separately. And I'm certified by North Carolina Wildlife to give the children's boating safety class where they actually get the North Carolina card, which is not really just for kids, but it's required for anyone born after January 1st, 1988.
So is that your age group, Kenny?
That would be my age group. So, Pete, do you want to show us a little bit about some common boater safety tips and some procedures that people should follow on the water?
Sure. So it's the beginning of the boating season. It's Big Rock Week. A lot of people are out of school for the first time, and people are getting on their boats, getting their boats ready for the season. So some things to think about are just checking the gear you already have on your boat and make sure it's up to date, make sure that everything is good to go. Life jackets, you're required, everyone knows they're required to have a life jacket for everyone on board, but you got to have a life jacket that fits the individual also. So whether it's an infant, a child size, a youth size, adult, or adult extra large, you have to make sure you have the right size life jacket on board for everyone on the vessel. And then also you have to make sure that the life jackets are Coast Guard approved. We have a couple examples up here of Coast Guard approved life jackets. If you have an inflatable life jacket, a lot of people don't know this, if you're not wearing it, it doesn't count as a life jacket on board your vessel. So you have to be wearing it for it to count as a life jacket, but also it's much more comfortable. This one is designed to automatically inflate if you fall in the water, or you could manually inflate it. And then some of these other like old school ones, the only thing you're looking at here is to make sure that it's in serviceable conditions. There's no rips or tears. If it has a clip, that the clip works. And if it has instructions, to make sure that it's Coast Guard approved and the instructions are legible.
And that's the most common one you'll see on a vessel.
This is the one that you get when you buy a new boat. The dealer throws these on board just to make sure you have them. But you really want to get one that's more comfortable, that is more likely to be worn, especially by children. And then any child under the age of 13 is required to have one on any vessel less than 26 feet, which is pretty much the most common boat you'd see in our area.
Now, Pete, could you tell us a little bit about what equipment is required to be on the vessel?
Sure, yeah. So life jackets for everyone on board, like we mentioned. Fire extinguishers, many different types of fire extinguishers. It depends on your length of your vessel, the type of vessel. If you have an interior engine compartment, you might have to have an installed firefighting system. But typically this is what you see here. And really what you're looking at is to make sure that the gauge is in the green, that the instructions are legible, and the actual safety pin is still inside the fire extinguisher. Some of the other things you're required to have is a throwable, either like this is a commercial level throwable, and most commonly you see the throwable seat cushion. This is a Type 4 personal flotation device, and it's designed to be thrown to someone in the water if someone falls overboard, or you see someone fall overboard on another vessel and you're going to help them out. That's what it's designed to do. Some of the other things that are required, if you're going to go offshore, you have to have flares, okay? So either this is a commercial level Solus flare. This is typically what you would see at West Marine for a recreational vessel. This is a daytime only signal. This is a smoke, orange smoke, and this is a nighttime signal. This is a red handheld flare. They also have aerial flares, which we're not going to touch on today, but we're going to demonstrate how these are used in a minute. And then some of the other things that are optional is having an EPIRB. It's an electronic position indicating radio beacon. There's a few different types. You have a larger one here. This is a type that's installed on board your vessel. And then you have types like these. These are called PLBs, which is a personal location beacon. Operates exactly the same as an EPIRB, but you can keep these in your life jacket. Like this life jacket here is designed to hold one. It has one inside tied to the life jacket, and really it's very inexpensive. It's only about like $300 to $400, and if you're ever in distress or you're floating in the water, your boat's sunk, God forbid, you could activate it. The Coast Guard is going to be able to locate your position within 5 minutes, exactly within feet of your position, and they're going to send somebody to rescue you.
And so many people just go out, hey, I want to go fishing real quick, honey, and they'll fish or biting. If you're by yourself on that boat, why wouldn't you be wearing that?
That's right. And then also, just as important, have a float plan. So if you are going to just go out and fish and you're by yourself or you're just with a couple buddies, let someone on shore know where you are, where you launched from, where you intended to go that day, and what time you should be home. Because if you told them you were going to be home at 6 and now it's 8, 9 o'clock, it's time to contact the U.S. Coast Guard and have them activate, the search and rescue process.
Very interesting, Pete, and we appreciate you joining us. And can we demonstrate flares for some folks?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Let's do it. All right, so like I mentioned, this is a daytime only. This is an orange smoke signal. So on your flares, there's an expiration date, and these are all expired. So if they don't work today for some reason, it's because we have a ton of these at the college that we use for training purposes. But there's an expiration date. You need to check that every year. And then also, keep these flares in a dry compartment on the boat or a dry bag because, the tube here is just cardboard. And if it does get wet, even though it might not be expired, it'll swell over time. You won't be able to remove the cap and you won't be able to light it. So basically, what you got to do is think about this as a big matchstick, all right? Just like you would light a match, you pull this cap off and there's a striker, right?
Okay.
And then you pull it off and this is the match, right? You're going to strike this away from you, okay? And when you strike it hard, it's going to light. And just hold it over the side.
I've never done this.
First time for everything. Go ahead, strike it real hard. There you go. And now hold it towards the end of your hand to the white part. There you go.
Oh. Ooh.
And Kenny, you want to do the same thing over here with that one on the other side of Catherine? That's perfect. That's not going to smoke as much. Just hold it over the side.
What's the length of time?
So it's only going to burn for about 30 seconds. And you can see here, this one is more of a commercial level flare. It's going to be a lot brighter. Do not look at the flame directly, Kenny. But this one is about 15,000 candle power. It's a commercial grade. That's about 5,000 candle power.
Will it burn underwater?
It will. It will burn underwater. And then so you can see on his where you have some slag dripping off the end, which is why you want to hold that on the outside of the vessel. If you were in a life raft, you would definitely want to be holding that because you don't want any of that to drip inside of a life raft to puncture the raft itself.
It'd be bad news.
You're almost done, Kenny.
Well, Pete, I'm so excited that we did this today. It's such an education to have this for me as a boater since I was 15 years old and I'm 53.
Yeah, and I take a lot of people that have been boating their whole life out and do just a 4-hour refresher. Either we're running new track lines for them, places they haven't gone. Sometimes teaching them how to use a new chart plotter, whether it be Garmin, Raymarine, or Simrad. And maybe they just want to
Need that.
run to the Cape and learn the new way, the new Mark Channel, the backside of the Cape. things like that.
Especially the way things shift around
Yeah,
here.
and you're never too old to stop learning. I still learn stuff. I've been doing this my whole life, and I still learn something new all the time.
Well, thank you so much. Kenny, you're just going to be here till next week. So wave to everybody.
All right.
Pete, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely, anytime.
And make sure you give Maritime Professional Training a call for your boater safety, for your kids, for you, if you're a new boater here on the Crystal Coast. And y'all have a wonderful weekend, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And let's go Big Rock. We'll catch you guys next time.